Joining us now, Craig Button and Frankie Corrado. So the Leafs haven't beat the Bruins in a playoff series since 1959. Frankie, between now and when the puck drops Saturday night, the players are going to be reminded all about the ghosts of years past. But Frankie, how much does history matter?
It shouldn't matter that much, Glenn. Like, these teams are very different than what they once were, especially when these teams have played together, I guess if you want to call it recently, within the last 10 years. This is a different looking Boston Bruins team. It's a different looking Toronto Maple Leafs team. If anything, if I'm a player on that Leafs team and I'm taking a look at the history, Glenn, I'm looking at it saying, give me another opportunity. Give me another chance to go in there, to go into Boston, to win a big game, to win a Game 7, to overwhelm this team offensively, something that the Leafs haven't been able to do at times when they've played each other in the playoffs. I don't necessarily look at this as a history lesson and saying, oh man, like, you know, it's really daunting. Of course it is daunting. I would look at it as an opportunity to finally beat the Boston Bruins when the teams look a little bit different than they have in the past.
I would like the Toronto Maple Leafs to name one player from either of those teams in 1959. Good luck with that. They don't remember 2009, right, let alone 1959. To Frankie's point, it doesn't matter. I mean, we're talking about a long time ago history. What matters is here now. And what the players have to get focused in on, what are your strengths? How do we create vulnerability? And how do we make the Boston Bruins uncomfortable? Talking about history doesn't make anybody uncomfortable. It's just what happened. What they want to do is not have history repeat itself.
And Craig, you also know pressure in the playoffs, they come hand in hand. So when you look at this Leafs roster, which players do you think are facing the most pressure going into this series?
So I'm going to go and look at it in a bigger group. I'm not going to just look at one player or other players. We've heard continuously how the Toronto Maple Leafs are learning and they're growing. Okay. Well, you're talking the talk. Now it's time to walk the walk. And what I want to see from this team, do you understand how to play come playoff time? Playoff animal is different than regular season animal. We know how good they've been in the regular season. Playoffs are a different animal. Are you going to be the team that's going to turn over the puck at the offensive blue line? Or are you going to give up the puck and force a defensive team that isn't as good as the Toronto Maple Leafs and take advantage of your offensive problems? Show me what you've learned. Show me that you understand what playoff hockey is. And then I think they have a chance to win. If they want to keep playing the same old silly way they did in previous playoff series, giving away the puck at the offensive blue line, making hope plays, they're going out.
I mean, and to Craig's point, like, the one thing that Toronto struggles with when they play the Boston Bruins, they don't play a very patient game. Like, we've seen Toronto make a lot of egregious mistakes, whether it's been regular season or even playoff series past. But when you look at pressure, it comes down to two things for me. It's going to be the star players for the Leafs, like it always is. It has to be Matthews and Marner. And I expect the Leafs star players to be able to overwhelm this Bruins team offensively. That's not something they've been able to do. It's not something that will come easy come playoff time. But if it does happen, the Leafs will have a much better opportunity to win this series. And the other thing, it is a stark contrast in the goaltending matchup right now. The Boston Bruins have two of the best goalies in the league. They have a very good goaltending tandem. Toronto is going to rely on getting good enough or adequate goaltending, which sometimes that can be a little bit of a slippery slope. Like, Ilya Samsonov, he's going to have an opportunity to play really well. If he doesn't, Joseph Woll may have an opportunity after that. Like, I don't think Boston is going to be second-guessing their goaltending situation. So the pressure really comes down to, how are the star players going to match up? Are they going to be able to overwhelm Boston offensively? And can Toronto's goaltenders give them a chance to win games over a 7-game series?
Now, one other player maybe facing big pressure, Morgan Rielly, because he's the longest tenured Maple Leaf, has just one playoff series win to go with 7 losses, including 2 against these Bruins.